amazing because this is the identical opening series that we saw from the last 4K pool play. OpTic Sentinels, they're both seeded exactly the same, that 1-8. And one more element just to bring it all together, a little bit of deja vu because they're kicking things off on Empyrean CTF, which was the only map in the series that Sentinels won. But if you remember back to it, that was a 3-0 win by Sentinels, primarily off the backs of the power-up control. Round and round again, we saw that Sentinels had the overshield, had the rockets, and that was what they used to really dominate on Empyrean. And I think I remember back to this, Mikowski, from 3 weeks ago, from the pool play of the first 4K, we were asking the question, does OpTic look a little bit cold? Do you think they're going to show up cold today?
You know, it's no telling how these teams are going to start, right? Because everybody needs a little warm-up. The pace of a tournament is unduplicatable in the likes of Octagon, matchmaking, or even in scrims. So it's really hard to answer that, Magic. It's always, I think, something that the eye test can tell us after the first minute or so. But speaking of the eye test and what I'm looking for here with this Sentinels roster, you lose Collect, which is tough because he's, I would say, the best young up-and-coming player in the scene, plays really fast. But I don't know if that maybe made sense as far as team composition was concerned. Now you have the likes of Suspector on the squad. He's more of an AR role. And when you look at the duos of King Dick and Sparty, Lethal and Suspector, a little bit more of a duo in my eyes than the likes of Lethal and Collect. So let's see how this new composition works out as we hop on board with Sparty.
Definitely keep an eye on Suspector because I know that Sentinels had all the love for Collect, but they're trying to find the right fit. Is Suspector that fit to help Sentinels break out of just top 8 and maybe even top 6, top 4 potential? We'll see what happens here. We did see some rockets in the hands of OpTic early on, so again, eyeing them for some of that power-up control. It was their downfall 3 weeks ago, but they're not going to let it be duplicated just yet. Lucid already off to a quick start with the sniper, a clean takedown, and look at where the pressure is. Already on Sentinels base. OpTic do not look cold at all.
And remember last week, Magic, OpTic hardly ever even crossed the 50-yard line. They hardly even got onto the other side of the green wall for Sentinels. So this is a much better start here for them as they have a flag out. Trippy looking to do his best off spawn to get back into the action on the other side of the map. Suspector fight through green hall. We saw earlier Sparty with the snipe. He went down. Lucid with that snipe as well, but he went down. So not sure if there's... Okay, Sparty was able to recollect that sniper, but it had one shot. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty even sandbox here. Snipers off the table, rockets off the table, overshield as well.
Yeah, pretty even across the sandbox, but also even across the kills. I think it's just a 1-kill difference between the two teams, so starting off pretty neck and neck. Spartan gets the takedown, but he receives the plasma grenade in return, not the trade of kills that he was looking for. Both teams are just clashing here at the midpoint of the map, and with this clash, it's Lucid going down to the new pickup for Sentinels. Suspector comes out with the kill.
Suspector pushing on Lucid there with full confidence, no hesitation. It's usually a kind of frightening sight when you're flying through the sky. You see Lucid beaming with that heat wave at you, but Suspector had no fear and had no problem taking down last year's MVP as Sentinels now look to push through that green hall. OpTic Formal with a huge defensive play shuts it down for now.
Formal right now is the slaying leader on the side of OpTic with the 5 slays. You match that to Spartan's 5 on the other side, and both of these teams looking like an even matchup. Identical numbers of kills, 5, 3, 3, and 3, and now Formal getting the kill to take that advantage, to get to that flag. OpTic might be able to build a run because half of Sentinels are hitting that respawn screen just as the power-up control comes through, and now it's OpTic with the flag with both power-ups. Sentinels have a great response here. Suspector tries to stay alive, has to burn that rocket before he's taken down.
Huge play here from Sentinels. Is it huge enough, though? Formal has that flag close. Rockets and overshield went into the hands of OpTic, and that's going to be one reason why. Despite the pressure, despite the slays, 2 or 3 there for Sentinels, it wasn't enough to stop OpTic as they go up 1-0.
And it's what you always talk about, Mikowski. It's the timing of those slays. The round of slays that OpTic won gave them the flag pull and the power-ups at the same time. So it was the kill from Formal to get to the flag, and then it was the rest of the team picking up rockets, picking up overshield in order to escort the flag across for the capture. And it looks like Formal is not done. Now with the sniper control, that 1 capture advantage, played a little bit on the defensive side, just suppressing Sentinels and waiting to mount their next approach.
Oh, says Spectre.
No.
I'm really surprised. Formal must be playing on like 50 field of view. I'm really shocked he didn't see Suspector there, and that's got a domino down to a double. The Suspector has snipe in his hand. We saw him with G1 previously. It's quite literally win games on the backs of this sniper control from Suspector. Getting to see why here as he takes down APG, pushes in strongly onto OpTic's snipe tower with full control. Full team wipe as well. Suspector is going to have a free pull here, but off spawn on the snipe side. Sentinels still going to have a little bit of offense here to work with.
We saw Suspector matching the slays from Formal and now hoping to match the objective play with that rotation of the flag, but it's getting stopped right there at long haul. Trippy is hopping on board for the potential reset. Even though 3 went down for OpTic, they somehow find the stabilization off of those respawns. I thought this was a tie game, but OpTic shut it down. And now Trippy shutting down slays. He's not letting Suspector get off of that respawn. The snipe is going to send him right back.
All right, so we've had a little over a quarter of this match. Magic, I'm going to answer that question. OpTic is warmed up. They ate their Wheaties. They chugged their coffee. I don't know what they used, but this is unbelievable, especially considering the difference in last week's 4K, where it was a 3-0 win for Sentinels. Not only a 3-0 win, but OpTic never even got on this side of the Sentinels map. Now we see constantly over and over, another flag pull out, another flag score in. OpTic dominating the likes that we saw Sentinels dominate last week instead.
Okay, but here might be the shifting point, right? Nick wins out the kill to get the overshield, and now the Rockets. Now the overshield. Now we see Sentinels with both power-ups, and this is what they built their 3-0 win off of in the last 4K. But they don't have the luxury of the advantage in the scores here, and unfortunately, Rockets are dropped. APG gets the kill, picks up the rocket. Sentinels needed that power-up control. They lost it, but look at the positioning they've gained in the process. They're in the sniper tower. Suspector still has a little bit of the overshield left, using it to push forward with some assertiveness.
All right, 3 down for OpTic. This is going to be another great opportunity for Sentinels to score one. Triple potential here for Suspector, but it's a delayed kill, enough to take down APG. Formal is the last player alive. Let's see what he can do.
Nick is desperately trying to rotate that flag right here at the home stretch, but Formal, it's gonna be enough for a quick flag stop, but not enough to stop the capture. Sentinels did send enough numbers in order to stop OpTic from getting another crazy reset of the flag. So they have broken that 0 on the scoreboard. They're in arm's reach, and that was that mid-game adjustment from Sentinels. When they won Rockets, they won Overshield. I think that capture is huge for them to still stay in this fight.
So there's the mid-game adjustment to make it a 1-score game. Here's the mid-game adjustment they need to tie this one up. Sentinels opening up the backside of their Spartans a little too much to OpTic Gaming. We saw Formal at one point flank all the way across through trading, just standing on the platform. Sentinels kind of like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm gonna take some shots through long haul because they're all for free. Then we saw APG just moments ago flank the Rockets and take down Rockets. So the backside a little too open here for the likes of Sentinels. They're gonna have to watch their back and play for that if they're gonna adjust here and tie this one up with 5 to go.
See what that adjustment looks like, but it's Trippy with the pink fist raining down death and destruction. Like the kills, that's 3 down now for Sentinel. Lethal as the last alive at the back of the base, and it's Trippy and APG alongside each other, rotating to the flag while Lucid tries to cut off Sentinels from being able to fall back. He hits the body shot. Nick is trying to stay alive. The assist comes through, and it's back to back. 3 going down for Sentinels. I don't see OpTic. Now they're rotating the flag, but look at this decision here, because the power-ups are spawning in at the same time. Suspector with a big double assist. Now it's gonna win that overshield, but can he get there in time to stop the capture? You might have won the power-ups, but 3-1 is gonna be almost insurmountable as that capture comes through. Suspector chose to play for that power-up instead of the flag stops, and I wonder if Sentinels might live to regret that choice.
Yeah, that was an unorthodox run there from OpTic Gaming, running it towards the cuts to bottom mid, back to cuts. That is a route that you will rarely see. What did we say last week? Magic said, taking the scenic tour on Google Maps is OpTic Gaming, as they are taking a little bit of a victory lap potentially. Still plenty of time left in this game, but with that insurance score, this lead feels much stronger than it did before.
Definitely a stronger lead, but I don't know even know if I'd call it a victory lap yet, right? They're still focusing on their gameplay, but maybe now focus more on the defensive side because they don't need another capture to get this win, especially with the amount of time left. But also remember that you want to keep a certain pace of gameplay because this is a best of 5 series. It's not all about how the first game goes through. You want to keep applying that pressure because there's the mental aspect to consider as well.
And OpTic has a propensity to really slow things down when they get a lead. I firmly believe that that's part of the magic for OpTic Gaming is having a lead, getting a lead, and never letting it go. And sometimes they play a little cheesy. Remember that one? I think it was a 2K or a 4K where OpTic all sat on live fire in the tunnels together, spinning in circles, right? So where it's not within, it's not crazy to say that these guys might play a completely different strategy, despite the fact that the strategy got them up 3-1. Don't be surprised if we see a little bit more of a defensive effort now from OpTic and maybe elect not to pull even another flag and really just play defense.
Oh, there's Trippy crouching at the bottom, but that cheeky positioning, that early burst of damage is not enough to get the kill. Instead, it's the reversal coming through. But how can Sentinels capitalize on this brief numbers advantage? And the answer is that they can't. They're still held right at that half map line. Spectre now rotating with the sniper, plenty of ammo to work with, but as he received fire from long haul, it's formal that needs to be dealt with. If they're gonna make a break through on this flag, they have maybe a minute left to make a good strong push, and it looks like 2 go down for OpTic. That's your green light. That is it. The snipe play as well. 4 go down for OpTic, and it's just at the perfect timing.
Yeah, look at the timing of these slays. The 3 down is gonna get the rockets, but Lucid gets a huge trade. I imagine Overshield in the hands of Sentinels as well, and with 2 minutes left, down 2. Sentinels is going to have to score at a clip of 1 per minute. There's King Nick with the remains of that Overshield. Going to take Lucid down to no shields, but he's got the help of Formal up top. The numbers advantage isn't enough to take down King Nick. It's going to be a huge linchpin in the spawn control for Sentinels as OpTic. Formal goes down to Spectre, making use of that last rocket, but he goes down, and at this point, Magic, Sentinels can get a team wipe on OpTic. They have numbers on OpTic, but OpTic just keeps trading out. Like I said earlier, they're just going to kind of play to baby your shields down and waste your time, as this flag will ultimately get through the long haul, but an additional, 30, maybe even 40 seconds that OpTic was able to bait and waste.
Sure.
You'd love to see the capture come through, but you're right. It was all about burning time on the clock, but they did get the capture, right? Sentinels are 1 capture away, 1 minute on the clock. And so they don't have the power-ups to work with, right? They were really running that flag off the backs of rockets, off the backs of Overshield. They need to find a flag run without any of that utility. And it's Lucid with the sniper saying, hey, when rockets are out, when Overshield's out, the sniper can shine.
Lucid with that no scope leaves little opportunities here for Sentinels. Still 2 down, and Lethal's got to stay alive on OpTic's side of the map. That's going to be very difficult to do. Spectre tries to push up quickly. Does a great job with his positioning, though. Keeps Lethal alive because of that push through the green hall, but it's not going to be for long as Lethal eventually goes down. You still don't have all 4 of Sentinels there, and with Lethal down and numbers dwindling, so too is the clock. This is going to be a last-ditch effort here for Sentinels. The Spectre goes down. Again, numbers are even. Numbers are even sometimes in favor of Sentinels, but because of OpTic Gaming strategy, they're going to survive here and take game 1 by a score of 3-2. Much different than that 3-0 sweep we saw for Sentinels in that first game. 1 CTF on Imperium. Now we have OpTic taking it 3-2 instead.
It seems like in this scenario, Sentinels were like the Captain Hook, right? And the ultimate demise was the tick, tick, tick of the alligator inside of the clock that's just creeping up on you at the final stages of that game until time was their ultimate nemesis. It was OpTic playing to time. You saw that shift mid-game when they had the 3-1 lead. They shifted playing full defense. Even though Sentinels get the flag run through, the clock runs out. And this game really felt like a must-win for Sentinels. If they're going to take this series, because this was the only game in the series that they won in the previous 4K pool play, I think this smells some trouble for Sentinels, and I'm excited to see what that bounce-back potential looks like.
Yeah, because when Sentinels won that first game last week against OpTic, they responded with a 3-0 afterwards. I don't know if Sentinels has a reverse sweep in them of the 3-0 variety, but I'd like to see them get another win. I'd like to see them take more maps from this OpTic Gaming squad. This is so important, Magic, because you have Suspector joining the squad. This not only sets the tone for the 4K this weekend, but it really sets the tone for Suspector being on the squad now. And like we said earlier, he's going to be that guy that plays almost your AR role. He's going to be on the sword side when everybody else is looking through Green Hall and Long Hall. That's exactly how he took down Lucid, I believe, earlier. But yeah, for Sentinels, they're in a really tough spot because OpTic Gaming just so good. Their only weakness was Empyrean CTF last week, and this week it's looking like their greatest strength.
It was a very strong start from OpTic, but Sentinels, you have to remember they were within 1 capture, only losing because of time. They did win multiple rounds of those power-ups, the rockets and overshield. I feel like if we went back percentage-wise, maybe it's 60-40 with Sentinels ultimately having more control of the power-ups, but maybe they were leaning a little bit too heavily on that. Even in one play where we saw Suspector play for the overshield instead of the flag stop. And I think that did come back to bite him. Although overall, if the question was, how does Suspector fit into the Sentinels roster? I'm liking what I'm seeing. I like the plays from him. That sneaky play at top sword, crouching in the corner, getting the back smack, picking up the sniper, putting it to work. It was a good combination of smart heads-up play with gun skill, and I'm excited to see more of what Sentinels have with this new roster.
All right, here we go. Heading to Aquarius Team Slayer for Game 2. Hopping on board here with the World Champ, Trippy. Let's see what he's got.
Trippy on Aquarius. I can't help but think about that triple kill from Trippy right here, actually, on the ramp up to P2, but he had camo in that scenario. So watch out for active camo coming into play. Game 2 is that Slayer Aquarius, and it looks like the first round of camo instead goes to lethal, but it gets burned. Even if OpTic can't win it, they burn it out, but Sentinels with an early lead. All 4 go down for OpTic. Sentinels now doubling up on that score.
Yeah, all 4 go down for OpTic, but I gotta say, great job by OpTic stopping that snowball from rolling down the hill. A compound mistake, letting Lethal get away with camo after that great start for Set. Imagine Lethal roaming with camo and Heatwave right now, Magic. This could be 10-3. So for OpTic Gaming, doing a great job to negate the camo, but they're gonna have to do much more than that if they want to come back down 4 early.
A nice 4-point lead here for Sentinels. Can they keep the pace rolling right now on board with Suspector? That's the new addition to the roster. 2 kills already, 2 assists, so filling in both as that Slayer role, but also setting up teammates. 4 rounds left in the heat wave. That's enough to get Trippy weak, and there's another assist. I love that play. Suspector just softened up the enemy, waited for the team help, and now he's looking for more. Lucid on the run, barely misses on that heat wave round, and Lucid doubles back. Suspector is shut down, but not before making an impact on this game as we're all tied up.
Ooh, OpTic doing a great job, and they rode the comeback here in the early goings of this match through that teamwork you mentioned earlier, Magic. They all had ones on the board in assists, and it was a 2-to-1 margin in assists before that next sequence of team wipe for OpTic Gaming. Now they're back tied in the assist category, up 1 on the scoreboard.
But this is what we noticed from the previous 4K. I know we keep kind of referencing back just because it's a identical matchup that we're seeing here, identical seeding from these teams. And it was time and time again that OpTic would win, including in Slayer, even without assists. They're just winning their 1v1s. Like, to boil it down to the most basic, OpTic win their 1v1s. So right now, Sentinels having that early lead off of assists, it wasn't enough to hold the lead. OpTic have stolen it back, although it is still highly contested.
And there's another one of those examples, the strategy for OpTic Gaming. Did you see Formal there? Had the low ground, took first shots from King Nick, but still found a way to trade out. That is one of the reasons why this OpTic Gaming squad is so pesky to play against, because they're hard enough. Once they get a lead, they hardly let go of it. And then even if it's the slimmest of leads, they find a way to masterfully hold on to it through trades like we just saw from Formal. It's not a flashy play, but it's the types of play that make you a world champ.
Doesn't got to be flashy if it gets the job done. Let's see if OpTic can get the job done here. That early lead from Sentinels is negated, but now the lead is shifted just ever so slightly. Sentinels are still right in this fight. They're keeping it neck and neck. They want to tie up this series. This is their opportunity. APG and Lucid are rushing through, but Suspector gets the pick. In fact, 2 go down for OpTic. Look at APG. He has to scramble, but the pinch is on. Sentinels get all 3 of those kills, but more importantly, without trading out.
Impressive sequence there from Sentinels, as it looked like OpTic had the numbers advantage, and Lucid with that heat wave. That's not what you want to hear if you're on the side of Sentinels, but they handled it masterfully, and then even made APG look a little in the blender as he's looking right, left. Top P doesn't really know where to focus on instead, and even Trippy now takes a few first shots here from Lethal, so the positioning and teamwork edging in Sentinels' favor, and it's edging on the scoreboard as well. Up 2, up 1. This game's close.
It was that trade out. Lethal got the nice kill, but the last second Hail Mary from the Grave Grenade trades out that kill in order to keep Sentinels just 2 points down. But I love the team play coming out from Sentinels. It shows in that assist column once again, but it shows in their map control as they have been focusing on an enemy and then trapping. Let's see if it plays off, because it looks like Lethal might be going for that camo again, and this time doesn't get traded out. This time it's Lethal with camo. Double kill. Trippy might be next up on the menu.
All right, let's see that butterfly effect of what we would have seen with Lethal with camo off rip here with a second chance at glory and camo usage here, as the second chance is enough to keep Sentinels up 2, now up only 1. APG with a really clutch double kill on the opposite side of the map, but Lethal cleans it up. Cheeky, sneaky, peeky there, finds one and keeps this game tied.
And even the initial damage there on Lucid allows another teammate from Sentinels to finish off the rest of that kill. Lethal has been leading the charge, 11-7, currently on the respawn screen, but ready to get right back into the fight. But it's Formal with that top mid control, finding Lethal on that respawn, but Lethal wins out the pivotal 1v1 to keep Sentinels in the lead.
30-31, 1-kill game. Have you heard that before? Tied again. Every time I'm on the mic, I'm talking about how it's tied. Neither of these two teams can find any separation, and for now, they're gonna look for the map control. APG with that mid map control looks high above the sky, has the high ground, but he gets taken down immediately. Sparty contesting top mid with that kill, but he's gonna push straight through the generator instead with those dynamos. Has Formal on the run, has Trippy on the run. They're both gonna go down to Sparty. Sentinels starting to find a little bit of separation.
Now, I thought it was a little misfortunate ricochet of that dynamo, but instead it was perfectly bounced off of the door frame in order to get the double assist coming through. Those dynamo grenades are so oppressive. And OpTic were unfortunately on the receiving end. So we see Sentinels now with a 4, make it 5-point lead. This is where they start to run away with that if they can keep this pace. A trade for the killing spree. Spartan is putting in the work.
Great recognition there from Sparty. Just like we saw the strategy from OpTic earlier, knowing that that trade would be enough to be a win condition for them as he thrusts forward, takes the trade. Now King Nick takes down Trippy cleanly, but that's another trade. But at 40-37, it's a narrow lead for Sentinels, but they could continue to trade out the rest of the way and feel great about it and feel even better. Looking back at the series, there's a 1-1 tie. It's getting even closer. That is Lethal. Finds the double kill, finds 2 extra dynamo grenades, and he's going to just waste and chase these because he doesn't want OpTic to have any of them. Again, playing for those trades, playing for the sandbox, but oh, don't look now. It's Lucid with the camo.
And if Lucid can do with the camo what we saw from Lethal in the mid game, that could get OpTic right back in this match. But there's all the pressure. You don't want it to be on anybody else other than the MVP Lucid himself. Being very careful. Sentinels almost playing defense in their base. It's not CTF, it's Slayer, but they know the camo is on the other side. Lucid gets the opening damage, but the assist comes through. Meanwhile, King Nick finds a double kill, holds on to that 4-point lead, and look at Nick aggressively pushing for that top mid control. APG is caught out, singled out, taken down.
Lucid there with the camo, but he really mismanaged his prioritization of opponents, shooting King Nick down lane instead of Lethal, who was right in front of him. Lethal came back to trade out that camo, and while it was 2 kills from the camo for OpTic, they really needed much more. They needed a flawless camo run. 4 kills would have had them tied, so instead Sentinels needing 3 kills to win, OpTic needing 4 kills just to come back. Sentinels has the map control, and you see Suspector here waiting for an opponent. He's gonna get Lucid. Hiding in the corner is going to be enough to potentially take him down, but just like that, there's a couple kills in the feed for OpTic, 2 down for Sentinels. Suspector, it's so important that he stays alive here with 1 HP and a dream. Could trade out here would be a huge win. Instead, he goes down. Sentinels only up 2.
Yeah, but he forced 3 players from OpTic back into this corner that could ultimately lead to this game being over. It's a 1-point game, 49-48. Lethal doubling back, might have to give up camo in order to clutch up the win, or even better, bait that camo pick up with some team fire. If anyone touches the camo, it might just be the hot potato in their hands. Lucid on the other side also holding top base. Neither team at top mid. The fight's going down. The The kill goes down. The kill win for Trippy. Oh, a heartbreaking loss for Sentinels. They had the 4-point lead early on. They had the 4-point lead at the end game, but somehow OpTic, when their back is against the wall, they turn it into the green wall. They clutch up for the win.
Oh, Sentinels, your heart breaks for them because they make the roster change, but the results we see on the screen in these Slayers are the exact same. These leads are never safe. 4-kill lead in the 40s. They had a 9-kill lead at Charlotte in the 40s. And I haven't ever seen Sentinels hold on to that 40-kill lead. 4-kill plus lead into the 40s. I'm at a loss for words right now. Something is wrong. Something at the core is wrong for Sentinels. When you make a team change like that, that's so such a massive team change. You have two completely polar opposite players in Collect and Suspector changing roles and changing positions, but the results are the same. That is a concerning sign for Sentinels.
It was Formal's Live right there at the end of the game that won the fight. He was in a 1v2 situation. He picks up a kill, but then he survives long enough for Trippy to come over with the support to secure the final takedown right here. This is the game-winning play. I love Formal's position from low ground in a 1v2. Left at 1 HP in a dream, and that dream lives on for OpTic.
Can we point 0025 OpTic Formal's death here? Because look at this. Look at this. He goes down simultaneously at the exact same time. And oh my god. Oh, this is going to even hurt even more for Sentinels to watch back. That could have very well, Magic, we've casted a 50-50 tie before. I almost feel like that should have been a 50-50 tie, as it looked like on my screen both players went down simultaneously, but it was literally, if it was anything, Magic, it was the 1/3 of a BR burst that was the difference in that game. 50-49, OpTic takes it, now up 2-0 as we hop back on board with Trippy. Wow.
Man, what a heartbreaking game too, and I hope that just lights a fire under Sentinels. They were right there. They could taste the tied up series. It was stolen out of their hands. They're starting off with a nice round of slays, though. It's going to be Spartan with the Heat Wave Sniper combo, giving some oversight onto the overshield. But look at the Shroud screen. Uses it defensively instead of tossing it onto the OS. So I think that's going to be OS in the hands of OpTic. Meanwhile, the sandbox, the weapons in the hands of Spartan as he lines up a snipe onto Trippy, trying to negate that overshield. B and C controlled by Sentinels. B is being contested, but A is also being flipped. Looks like that reset comes through on A, and Spartan might be a little bit singled out here in tower, hoping that the weapons will be enough to keep him alive.
Sentinels gets the start to earn themselves that 20 seconds of milk, but it's not quite enough to really feel like you're in full control. And I almost feel like full control is exactly what you need if you're Sentinels, coming off that game 1 loss where they had previously beaten OpTic Gaming, that game 2 loss where they felt like they had beaten OpTic Gaming, up 4 in the 40s now. Staring at a 2-0 deficit to start off your pool play. 2 hills in control here for OpTic Gaming, but now we have King Nick flipping B.
He is being flipped back by Sentinels. They might have given up a lead, but not by much. Only 5 seconds, and they're coming right back. Spartan's still holding on to the Heat Wave, and the Sniper uses a little bit of both to take down the kill. Also locking down the spawn until finally he's shut down. APG lasers with the BR. Now, here's an interesting decision for APG. Does he hold that objective, or does he try to rotate over, pick up what's left of those power weapons? He goes for the objective, but the pinch is in. Sentinels are very committed to holding this C hill.
Yeah, interesting enough, APG over on that C side, he goes down. But yeah, it almost seems like this is what OpTic playing for, is the AB hold. And I thought maybe they'd go for AC, because then you could look down at B from the kind of the high ground on the A sandbags and C nest. But instead, OpTic Gaming playing through their own personal process as they lock down A and B and look to regain this lead. Nearly tied.
Nearly tied back up, and it looks like the B stronghold is what's up for grabs. 2 go down for each side. In fact, 3 on the side of OpTic, leaving Formal as last alive. He has to concede that B hill in order to double back, preserve his life, and hopefully not get caught in that respawn blender. What they gave up in the process was the lead of the game, flipping right back over to Sentinels as we hit that 50-second mark for Sentinels. Suspector, the newest player added to this roster. Are you looking at his stats right now? 11 and 3, incredible, +8 slays early on from Suspector.
This is just what Suspector does. In Charlotte, he had a 14-4 game, I want to say, in game 5 to defeat Native White in pool play. So, and in that match, it looked kind of like this, where it's kind of like, well, where's everybody else? You know, like Suspector's really the only one popping off, which is great, but almost maybe even a little concerning. That distribution a little topsy-turvy, but here we have Suspector looking to eat more as he's got more sniper shots to work with. A full sniper. In fact, if they can anchor C here, oh, I'm not even going to continue with that thought process because Suspector goes down immediately. Sentinels looking to hold on to that C cap point. Lethal goes down. The dominoes are starting to fall. If Trippy can stay alive, OpTic should absolutely have a trip cap potential here.
No trip cap potential. In fact, they're forced off of C. Now Trippy's trying to kind of restabilize. Look at Sentinel's adjustments. And they saw that maybe there's a room for a triple cap here. They make a quick break over to B. They get the capture, but it's Formal with the sniper. Not able to connect on the shot, so he goes down. The sniper's going to drop down into the mud. Spartan with the heat wave once again takes the trade onto Lucid, and the triple cap instead of for OpTic is for Sentinels.
Wow, unbelievable flip. A reversal of fortune there as King Nick has the overshield as well. Here we go with the wave, turning into a tidal wave here. And that's exactly what you needed to see for Sentinels. Is it's almost like we haven't seen much life from them. The same energy and passion that we're used to seeing from the Sentinels roster hasn't been on display until right now. And I was almost expecting a little bit of a pissed off response here in game 3 for the Sentinels roster, Magic. And I think that's exactly what we're getting.
Yeah, but sometimes if you get like that emotionally amped up after a heartbreaker game 2, it's interesting to see what the response is, because sometimes you can get like too emotionally invested and you start to like make sloppy mistakes because you're playing with your heart instead of your head. But right now what Sentinels are doing, they're playing smart and they're playing like a little pissed off, you know, at the same time, which is it's a dangerous balance here. And they're on the brink of another triple cap. That tidal wave from earlier, it looks like it's doubled up, and they're keeping that force on OpTic to deal with.
Yeah, and on the other side, it's Formal. And it's not the 3 and 9. It's not the -6. That's not the headline here. It's the 0 assist, because Formal, when you look at his team composition, he's the guy supporting players. He's the guy getting damage, opening up that mid-map. And so far in this game 3 live fire, he has not had a chance to do any of that. Now continuing down the line with no assist. Trippy already with 5. Lethal in this game already has 8. So Formal, for a player who supports, that's his main role, is far back, far behind in that category as he goes 3 down again. Lucid, last player alive. OpTic kind of in the blender right now a little bit, Magic. This is unbelievable after those first 2 from OpTic. Down to see him in game 3 looking not the same.
Well, it was a good response there from Lucid as being the last player alive, as being a little bit caught in that blender. Come out with a kill before being taken down, and that allowed Trippy to clean up this capture. But once again, as soon as OpTic set foot on C, look at where Sentinels go. They're rotating to B. Opposite side of the map is Overshield spawning in. Trippy versus Lethal. Trippy wins a pivotal 1v1, trades out on the second, and now it's OpTic with a much needed Overshield. They're over 100 seconds down. If they don't capitalize on this little breakthrough, they're gonna be in trouble.
Trippy with the big win condition trade for his team is he takes down 2 and earns his team the overshield. This is it. This is really it right here. Sentinels already into the 200s. OpTic Gaming with those slays and the overshield. They've got to take this and retake B. Even down so much, Magic, they almost have to press for the triple cap. We're seeing that triple with the Trippy with the potential triple. Doesn't get it. APG looking to clean up any potential slays, but just as OpTic was looking at a trip cap, now you have Sentinels rotating and flipping C and scoring once again if they can't get APG off of B.
Sentinels go back to their home base. They get that C stronghold taken down. It was the AC hold for OpTic. Double has them fighting back in this game, and now it's the snipes from Lucid getting OpTic, putting OpTic on his back, trying to climb up this mountain. Break within 100 points, but Sentinels are rallying quickly. 7 players are alive. First one to go down, though, is Formal. Now Trippy follows. Sentinels now with the numbers advantage. The last 2 players from OpTic both trapped in the back of B. The pinch is on. The overkill for King Nick.
Hey, it was a last second glimpse of that overkill, but we're going to count it for 99. Overkill on the board for him and an overkill for King Nick. And what great pressure from Lethal. Really opening up that overkill for King Nick as he pushed those players from OpTic further and further towards those spike grenades, and King Nick cleaned them all up. But just like that, Sentinels all get cleaned up. OpTic mounting a comeback with that team wipe takes control of B handily. And C!
Now, yeah, the triple cap. But are they going to give up overshield? Looks like Sentinels might be positioning for it, knowing they just need one break of hill captures in order to get this game. And it looks like it is going to be none other than Suspector, the newest addition to the Sentinels roster, with the overshield chasing down APG for the double kill. And now Sentinels on C, on A. Suspector might be singled out, but with that overshield acts as if with the strength, with the health of two players, and now it's OpTic who are getting trapped on that B spawn.
Oh man, that was stressing me out. Suspector quite literally saves Sentinels with that overshield, with that double kill, and with that double A and C. King Nick on the other side of C has a complimentary double kill. What's the best, right, Magic? Double kills back to back, right? The only thing better than overkill are two double kills that stagger a little bit, and that's exactly what we see here for OpTic Gaming as they go 2 down. A little delayed from each other, and that's going to open up more scoring for Sentinels. Potential win here.
Sentinels are just 8 seconds away. Trippy in a must-win situation, trying to hold on to A, but Sentinels, once again, you can give up one zone. They're going to take another as they go right back to C. That's been their home base, and now it's just 6 seconds. APG has to live on the hill, but as he's taken down, the reset comes through. It was enough time, though, for Formal to stop the points climbing. Over on C, every fight feels like a must-win, and OpTic are 2 down. Lucid being a little slippery with that shroud screen, but it's Suspector above on the bridge. Lucid almost needs to go for the cheeky snipe. Right now, he's just stalling. Shield is regen. B is being contested. Almost the back smack. Almost the reverse of what we saw from game number 1. But B is still going over to OpTic off of the double kill clock stop.
3 down for each squad. It's a 1v1 for the game right here, but I don't think they're in close proximity to each other. No, Lethal's going to be able to get B almost for free, and it could potentially seal the fate for OpTic Gaming as they do in fact go down. Sentinels ice up in game 3, and just as it looked like Magic, you're going, oh no, just tell me Sentinels doesn't throw this game. They lock it down, take game 3, and I gotta go out and say, Magic, this should be 2-1 Sentinels.
Oh, what a huge win from Sentinels. And you're talking about the game 2, right? You're saying game 2 should have been Sentinels. They should be leading this series, but they're right back in it.
I'm still sick. I still have that taste. I still have such a bad taste in my mouth for Sentinels. You know, no bias, just looking at just unbiasedly looking at. They should have that game 2. They had it so handily, and game 3 looked the exact same. So huge for Sentinels to shut the door right there, build back a little bit of confidence where they needed it most, and now taking on that consideration, hey guys, we should be up 2-1. Maybe they kind of use that as a rallying cry here and take down OpTic. Who knows?
And it was that moment in the mid game where you had called out, looks like OpTic might get the triple cap, and seemingly out of nowhere, Sentinels turn it around into their triple cap instead. Time and time again, anytime OpTic would make a break to a hill, you'd see that Sentinels would just opposite. They rotate opposite. They would trade hill for hill, and it kept them in the majority of a hill's capture, of strongholds rather. I'm calling them hills. This is the king of the hill, Magic. Come on, get your game modes right.
We know what you're talking about.
Whatever the strategy was. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say it's still a hill. Nice. Yeah, B hill. As we see Lucid. Not enough. He had a pretty good game, but here's that the invisible hand that is lethal right there, pushing the overkill towards King Nick. Again, we're just starting to build all these bounce back scenarios for Sentinels where they can kind of start to build that chemistry and confidence back. That always helps when you send an overkill your teammate's way and he gets it and connects on it. That's absolutely a comm builder in the Discord.
A great confidence builder right here for Sentinels, and maybe it was due to being a little bit ticked off after that game was stolen from them in game 2. And just like right here, Lucid looks like the back smack, the revenge back smack onto Suspector, but Suspector with a sixth sense, you know, the eyes in the back of his head, turns at exactly the right time to turn around that kill, just like the Sentinels are trying to turn around this series. And boy, game 3 winning by nearly 100 points is that confidence builder that Sentinels can build off of. Heading into game number 4, it's going to be oddball, it's going to be recharge. Formal might not have been that guy in game 3, but with Camo now, looking to start off on a stronger footing.
Oh, great job. Just as it looked like Formal's going to sneak away with 1 Camo kill, maybe look for 2 and an oddball grab. He gets taken down immediately, but it's Lucid with that shock rifle. He's got the oddball rotation with the grapple hook as well. I love that play. Almost like a 3-for-1 for Lucid there as he pulls a player down, bottom gold. OpTic Formal looks to rotate with that ball to C, and OpTic with that C setup has a pretty good hold here off the rip.
Nice little opening break. 9 seconds is all that OpTic are going to get from that oddball, and they don't even get the reset through. Even the ball is at the back of C. Sentinels are actually going to win that defensive position off of the slays. They stop OpTic short from the reset potential. So what you're going to see from that is now Sentinels taking the lead, or at least tying up the game. The ball's still sitting there on C flat, up for grabs, and it's Sentinels who take advantage of it, taking back this game. Spectre lurking at the top of control, has damage across catwalk. He's gonna actually rotate low ground. He's still gonna end up in that 1v1 against Lucid, but Lucid was already softened up. It's a team fire coming through for Sentinels yet again.
And now this is concerning for OpTic now, because just like in that last game where we saw, okay, trip cap for OpTic, just kidding, trip cap for Sentinels. Here we thought OpTic was going to get away with a great oddball rotation and milk session here, but instead it's Sentinels getting it. 30 plus on the board. Now a 30 plus disparity between these two teams, but Sentinels fails with the reset. Or did that? No, that ball did not get reset. It's in the hands of OpTic Gaming. That now is a huge 20-point swing in that direction, as Sentinels is unable to play ball, and OpTic are all the better for it.
That's been the story of this game so far, Mikowski. It feels so early on to find that pattern, but it's been the failed resets, and now it's the burned camo as King Nick stops Trippy 1 second before he clambers over that ledge into cover. A great shutdown from Nick, and the survival to follow. Now the reset fully comes through. Sentinels with just an 18-second lead.
Pinch potential here on the A elevator side, but King Nick loses one of his buddies, loses 2 of them now, so he's now on a solo mission. Gonna need to go John Wick, takes the stick, takes down his opponent, trades out with them. 3 down for Sentinels though, so that's gonna open up a little bit of map control for OpTic to position themselves favorably for this oddball pickup, but you still have a Sentinel at the back of gold. It's Sparty, and he's causing chaos, taking down APG, goes down, but that's gonna delay this oddball grab for OpTic. Great play there from Sparty, despite going down.
John Wick gets the stick. You're a poet and you didn't even know it. Mikowski just dropping bars right here in the middle of this recharge oddball game. Formal's going to try to drop some bodies. If he can line up that sidekick is actually his weapon of choice. Swapping between the BR, the sidekick has that laser point accuracy. Formal with the rapid fire gets some early damage. The push comes through as the double team. He has a little bit of help as he softens up another player at the back of pipes, but the objective has been picked up and actually rotated it there to the top of attic, hoping that the pinch through pipes would be enough to on though. 2 players in high ground, and watch Lucid on this flank play trying to catch the back of Spartan. Spartan rotates around the corner just in time. King Nick is here to help. Now Lucid finds himself in a 1v2, and it's the disruptor pistol taking down Lucid.
A sloppy bait and switch there from King Nick and the oddball bear, but you know what? It's good enough to take down Lucid, and that is going to be good enough to earn a few more seconds for Sentinels, just as it looked like OpTic was building a convincing lead for them. It's Sentinels up by 20 with that oddball reset at the starting point.
Watch for Formal though. He's dangerous on this map right now. Shock rifle finds the perfect kill, looks for the double. He definitely has some damage on that second target. The comms are coming through. He knows that Spartan's there at the bottom of blue pipes. Could even get some chain reaction damage if he wanted to shoot. Wait, that weapon pad doesn't exist anymore. Oh, that's unfortunate. Formal still has 3 full bursts left of the shock rifle to work with. They're trying to rotate this oddball to the stairs, but Formal doesn't want to give up this power position on the map, the power weapon, so he's just hoping that teammates can clean up some kills. Let's watch that assist counter is going to be the story of this push.
Formal and APG looking to do a little work in the long haul, but it's Lethal once again. I gotta give Lethal some. I've seen some great plays here from Lethal today. Love seeing that from one of the greatest Halo players of all time as he takes down one of the longest standing pros of all time, or looks to take down one of the longest standing pros of all time in APG. But APG takes down Sparty and doesn't prevent the reset. Okay, I thought he was going to prevent the reset. The reset does go through. 59-33 oddball back at the reset. Look at that. Formal sneaks away with the oddball. The Spectre at the high ground and was all over it, but had to imagine OpTic Formal wasn't going to stay alive for too long as he eventually goes down.
Yeah, but they're relaying the oddball. So Formal rotated to long haul. Now Trippy picks it up, and they're going right to the back of C. This is where both teams have been electing to hold the objective. Suspector is here, though. Trippy doesn't have much time. He gets the reset to come through. APG wins out a kill, but the numbers are for Sentinels. 3 go down. It's a 1v1 for a brief moment. Lucid and Spartan were the last 2 alive for their teams, and Spartan, recognizing the numbers, just tries to rotate that ball to some cover, hoping that Sentinels can stall for the win. The clock is going to become a factor in this game as we're approaching that 1 minute mark.
Yeah, interesting to note that it almost looked like Sentinels was kind of like desperate for that oddball there, and Lucid was baiting it, despite the fact that OpTic is the one down here with less than a minute to go. So with that clock in consideration, Sentinels has a few options as they could really elect to play this clock out. They're up by, I don't know though, I feel like up 30 plus seconds. They might just play for time, but only up by 20 here, 20 plus now. They're gonna look to continue to score oddball time. Interesting strategy decision. Let's see how it plays out.
I think it might be OpTic with the camo. I'm not sure. We'll watch and see if that comes into play. It was there at the bottom mid being used as bait, but the kills are coming through. The scoreboard is lighting up red. Lucid once again as the last alive. And there's a little bit of a desperation here on this push, knowing that he's about to rotate into a 1v3. He doesn't have a choice because he's last alive. The clock is ticking, gets an opening break. The Sentinels, even off of that defensive play, they're winning out the slays. And you can see that shift from OpTic. Trippy has to push this fight, has to win the fight. He does. Traded right back out 30 seconds, and now it's that 40-second lead.
Masterful rotation, though, from Sentinels as they almost a collateral 2-for-1. They get oddball time and they get the oddball a little further, and I guess a 3-for-1 in that they continue to dwindle that general clock down. 15 seconds left, and now you won't see Sentinels even touch or think about touching that oddball. I love the strategy here. They played for the time for the about 15 seconds through 1 minute, and then with 15 seconds left elected to just play for that clock. Great strategy decision here from Sentinels as it has them up 1-0 in a crucial game 4. Looking to send OpTic to game 5. Reverse sweep. Watch out.
Gotta shout out King Nick. Most slays on the side of Sentinels and most objective time. King Nick really is that well-rounded player leading the way for Sentinels to hopefully, potentially force the game 5. But it's King Nick taking down. Camo is up for grabs, and it looks like it's going to OpTic. Is 3 going down for Sentinel. Spartan once again is the last alive, and Trippy using that camo to scoop up the grapple, nearly taken down. APG stuck Spartan. Spartan rushed out of pipes, and Trippy was almost the collateral damage.
Yeah, you talk about time and place for the kills. The timing there could have been any more perfect for that sticky from APG. Almost took down Trippy with it, but Trippy maintains his shields, maintains his camo, maintains that shock, but not for long as the push comes through gold. Sentinels should regain control of that power weapon, but it's OpTic regaining control of this lead.
Trippy needed to hit that perfect with the shock rifle before the miniature version of the shock rifle. The disruptor pistol was ultimately his demise. It's still OpTic holding on to control of the oddball as they hit that 25, that first quarter of time. Lucid being the objective holder and now tossing the ball out for Formal because the shock rifle still remains in OpTic's control. Even though Trippy dropped it here on the stairs, there's another teammate to pick it up. And I'm seeing a little bit more of OpTic being locked in, a little bit more of what we would expect from them, that teamwork coming through, but they're not hitting that perfect. And every time they miss the perfect shock rifle, Sentinels, they waste no time capitalizing. Spartan with the double kill, breaks that hold, but Formal with the dueling double kill. The ball is basically played out to reset as Formal stayed alive at the back of B, being pesky, being a nuisance, a thorn in the side of Sentinels.
Great angles and great damage here from Formal. And this is the assist. This is the support player we were talking about, where he's just going to cause chaos. He might not even peek back at Sparty. He might let APG look down there and take him down, or Lucid instead. That's exactly what he's going to do. So OpTic Formal, he didn't start out playing his role, but here in game 4, we're starting to see the form we expect from Formal.
Love Lucy's grenade there to take down Spartan. Just saw a clip today on Twitter from Spartan, the exact corner at the bottom of C stairs where he got a kill-tacular. Maybe Lucid saw the clip too and said, there's no way I'm letting you get away with that right here. The grenade finds the takedown, and OpTic finds the oddball. They're just a couple seconds short of that halfway mark in this round, and they do look like a different team than what we saw in round 1. They don't want a game 5. They want to end this series like they ended the pool play series last time with a 3-1 win. They're still at the deficit, though. It's still on OpTic to fight their way back in. Spartan has to play a little bit patient, though. Numbers trading out, 2 down for both sides. This is Spartan's chance to get that pinch in, but it looks like he might be waiting for some support from Lethal.
This might lose C-spawns. No, they're all C-spawns for Sentinels. So despite Sparty going down, Sentinel still gets the C-spawns. It's going to give them a quick route, quick access to taking down this oddball. But Trippy's put the Slippy on Suspector, takes him down. Unbelievable positioning and shots from the world champ.
Great movement, positioning, and the laser point accuracy. Trippy had no health to his name, but he comes out with the kill with the oddball and saves his life in the process. Now it's OpTic Gaming just 32 seconds away from forcing this game into a round 3. Suspector's trying to break up that fight, though. He rounds the corner, but APG with the reversal. The disruptor pistol once again winning out the 1v1.
Oh, tough scenes there for Suspector as he goes down in unspectacular fashion in back-to-back sequences. That's going to open up this lead even more for OpTic Gaming. And now the only takeaway for Sentinels is, thank God we won round 1, because this OpTic in round 2 looks convincing enough to win an oddball game 2-0, but Sentinels still has life, but not much of it. 3 down for each squad, and it's Lethal, though, milking out. Now he's going to try to rotate towards a favorable spawn here, which would be that A side. They're going to get that A spawn, so a great play there from Lethal. A little hesitation. He just barely inched it towards A, but got far enough there to give that Sentinels team a favorable spawn. But Trippy and the likes of OpTic are looking to destroy it.
Ooh, APG gets the double, making a triple. Trippy gets the double assist, and APG with the camo.
That's it.
The triple kill to break the hold, sends Sentinels back to the respawn screen, and we're looking at a round 3 in this recharge oddball. Sentinels need to find more of what they showed us in round number 1 if they're gonna force a game 5. Whereas OpTic, they are back in full form, trying to defend that number 1 seed and take the bulk of the points. This triple kill from APG, that was the cherry on top to secure the round.
APG, 3 letters in his name, 3 slays there, as that secures the round for OpTic Gaming. King Nick and the rest of Sentinels looking to start this next round off spawn, off a hot start, but no, they go 3 down. Oddball, OpTic, Shockwave, OpTic, maybe even the grapple hook in the hands of OpTic. So this is not the start you're looking for if you're Sentinels in round 3.
Lucid with the grenade and the shock rifle damage. We're still looking for some of those like perfect shock rifle kills. That's like the only thing I want from this game.
How about
It's
now?
been very dicey. Thank you, Lucid. All right, sweet. I queued that up. All right, appreciate you, Lucid. Thanks for following the script. That's the perfect kill we're looking for. And it just makes such a difference, right? The body shots from a shock rifle are very underwhelming. It's really that perfect headshot that makes it the power weapon that it is. And he's looking for more as he finds another left to King Nick. And already in the early stages of this round 3, Sentinels are left scrambling. Look at the scoreboard, already 40 seconds. It seemed like it was a blink of an eye, and OpTic taking over.
Hey, Magic, you asked for it. You asked for the perfect headshots. We see 2 from Lucid with the shock rifle, and then the feed, we see APG with a double kill. Lucid with another headshot. Does he have a second on the slide? And King Nick? No, as he goes down, but that is one wave of energy, emotion, and most importantly, points for OpTic Gaming, up a minute plus.
Minute plus lead, and the force of the reset comes through from King Nick with the final burst of that shock rifle. I feel like the caster's blessing was a little too strong. I need to give it right back to Sentinels because I ultimately want a game number 5 here. All right, King Nick, I'm looking for a frenzy here. 10 straight kills.
Yeah,
Let's go,
okay.
King Nick. Make it happen.
Hey, maybe Sparty. Hey, we know Sparty's he's likely to hit a rampage. He's done it before against the likes of the best
Working.
teams. And at this point, yeah, you either need King Nick or Sparty to hit something like a killing frenzy. Goose eggs on the board in the form of that oddball time. Everybody having a good game, relatively for Sentinels, but no oddball time here in round 3. And a full formal with camo, but all the expectation. The veteran play there from Lethal spots it out, takes down that camo, and for a time being, it looks like Sentinels gonna have a chance to come back, finally putting some time on the board, but it's not gonna last.
I appreciate 90 going back to King Nick with the hopes of that frenzy. He was halfway there with the killing spree, but he gives up his life in order to try to secure the objective, which is ultimately what Sentinels need. to keep this win, to get this win. They're still down by 60+ points as the fight goes down. It's the Lethal and Formal trading out. A slow here for Sentinels. And they're getting their hands on the objective, but it's King Nick kind of overextending, anticipating that push from Long Haul, gets the critical takedown onto APG to keep Sentinels with the numbers advantage. And look at the slays. Slay after slay going for Sentinels. This is a huge turnaround.
Yeah, and Formal's the last player alive. Only 3 went down there for OpTic, but here's the veteran play from Formal. He's not going to allow Sentinels to stagger him. So here we see some of that veteran decision-making from Formal. He's going to wait to push up with teammate support, but a little mistimed. APG a little, maybe like 2 steps behind. It's not enough. It's not a lot, but it's enough to stop this push from OpTic Gaming. Sentinels, despite having numbers, look at that. I think it's Lucid with the oddball looking to milk it out and reset as he does just that. Good play from him as we reset 4 up on each side in 40 seconds, separating these 2 teams.
Trippy was so smart there, not overextending, not, you know, W keying over there to try to quote unquote save Lucid. Lucid did his job. He just played the ball out into the open, and Trippy held his ground at the top of control to have sight lines over that objective. This is where you see OpTic now with that 40-second lead. They're not avoiding the oddball, but they're definitely focused on playing some defense here, just keeping it out of the Sentinels' hands.
Yeah, typically oddball with this 40-second lead, OpTic with this 40-second lead in oddball. They're going to really start to play for those slays. They'll let the clock dwindle down, and they might not grab oddball until they have all 4 down. That's the way that we've typically seen OpTic play. As Camo gets negated, that's a huge play. APG pushing through, has the slay at top gold. That's going to give him the sign to go, but Lucid, he goes down as well. Trippy, the last player alive on that gold side, and he takes down King Nick. Huge play. This might force some favorable spawns now for OpTic, but no. Sparty, I believe it was, on that left side of the map, forces 8 spawns. Not sure where that grenade came from on the blue side. Look at this. Trippy with their full rotation gets it from the reset all the way to C without taking a single shot.
In that 1v1 King Nick versus Trippy, both of them were at 29, but it's Trippy breaking the 30 kill mark first. Keeping King Nick held at 29. Really been a battle between those 2 slayers, as well as objective holders. Incredible play from both King Nick and Trippy in this game, but 3 go down, all 4 go down for OpTic. Can Sentinels rotate back to the oddball in time? It is Spartan sprinting, curb sliding everything to try to clear the map, but he misses the little clamber, has to double back, and luckily is able to reset. Sentinels need to get a good 20-30 seconds of oddball time to get back in this game, and they're doing just that. They cut that lead in half.
Just as I thought OpTic was going to split 2-2 down the needle side and the long haul side, they all pushed through that long haul side, all 4 on the long haul side, but Sentinels gets the opening break kill. Formal goes down, APG goes down. Suspector, if he stays alive here against Trippy, it's, oh, that would have been huge. Would have been 3 down for OpTic, only 1 for Sentinels. Instead, 3 down for Sentinels, 1 for OpTic, and they have oddball. That is a butterfly effect if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and Lucid just goes straight to the oddball, just milks about 5-6 seconds right there, tosses it out, and this is going to put Sentinels on their back, but they have one last desperate Hail Mary push. The clock is ticking, 5 seconds to go on the clock. Lucid takes down 1, gets the trade, and that's going to be enough. OpTic steal away the series. It's another 3-1, the exact finish on the series that we saw from the last pool play. Sentinels, though, even though the series looks the same from the 3-1, I'm seeing another side of Sentinels that I am really excited to watch that continue to develop. I think that this looks like a team that can break out of that stuck in 8 seed and push top 6, maybe even top 4.
I agree. I do think Sentinels has taken some strides with his team change, but I'm still seeing what was their most glaring deficiency in that they could be a top 4 team or they could be a top 24 team. You know, like you don't really know which Sentinels you're going to get. And despite the team change, that has still lingered throughout this squad, regardless of the team change. And I look back at that game 2, 50-49 Aquarius, where Sentinels was up 47-43. They should have had the 2-1 series lead. They should have. We should be going to a game 5 right now, Magic. I'd love a game 5 just because I love game 5s, but I'd like to see Sentinels really take that leap. They've been so close. They make a team change that makes you think they're going to break through a little bit, and they did on the eye test, but ultimately the results are the exact same.
Yeah, the results are the same, the outcome is the same, but it's that 50-49 game I think will haunt the memories of Sentinels, and hopefully, like their response was in game 3, they came back with a win. I'm hopeful for Sentinels that they don't let that 49-50 loss like hold them back, but spur them forward, motivate them to keep dominating. They had OpTic 1 kill away from forcing a game 5. I'm still excited to see what Sentinels can do in the rest of pool play. The championship bracket that starts today rolls into tomorrow, but OpTic still look like the team to beat. They are still the #1 team.
Yeah, and amazing it got this close, really. In that round 3, as OpTic had a 60+ second lead in that oddball. But let's not forget, even in game 4, round 1, Sentinels, they took that first oddball round. So it's just like, which Sentinels are we going to get? Are we going to get the round 1 of oddball or the rounds 2 and 3? That is the perfect visual example of how I feel and think about this Sentinel squad, is just not knowing what consistency level you're going to get. These guys could be world beaters. These guys, this Sentinel squad, with the likes of Lethal, the former world champ, one of the most goated players of all time based on that top 25 list. If there's any teams that could sort of disrupt that upper echelon, I think Sentinels could be it. We just don't know which of the Sentinel squad we're going to get. We're going to have to get the Sentinels best if they want to break into that top 4. Just haven't quite seen it all put together. But Magic, we've seen glimpses.
We've seen glimpses of it. I want to ask you a very specific question here, Mikowski. Do you think that Suspector plays into Sentinels being a little bit more of a consistent roster?
Absolutely.
Because I think ultimately consistency is what they're lacking. They can be really hot, they can be really cold. How does Suspector work with that issue specifically?
So yeah, Suspector playing the long range game, like I said earlier, he's almost like that AR role for Sentinels now. Yeah. I think that's going to allow them to play safer and not make the same mistakes they were maybe making with Collect, who's a little bit faster, likes to fly out a little bit more. But and then I go back to that 50-49 loss on Aquarius, where it was the exact same thing despite the roster change. So I think for Sentinels, I think Suspector is a much better fit for them in terms of team composition. But let's not forget, this OpTic Gaming squad has been together for 1 year. This is tournament #1 for Sentinels in this new roster. So I think we saw a little bit of that on display as well.
A lot of exciting matches already happening. It looks like FaZe versus Rebellion might also be heading into a game 5. So that was that Pool B matchup, the 2 versus the 7 seed. Very exciting matches happening all across pool play. There's going to be more, everybody. We're just getting started. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll be spying on a couple more teams, see what they are going to bring to this 4K. Don't go away.